Hi, I'm Joy Landis, and I'm here today with Lori Kaufman on a beautiful Michigan day. And we're going to take a look at native plants and show you their beauty and some of the benefits. So, Lori, why were you interested in including native plants in your yard and garden?
So many reasons. The first reason was because they're gorgeous. I started going to the Wildflower Association of Michigan meetings and seeing photos of beautiful native plants, and I wanted to incorporate some of them in my garden. And then later I realized that they're actually very beneficial for the environment, and they promote a healthy food web. And they allow native beneficial insects, including lovely butterflies, to thrive in my garden, and that helps support other wildlife, including songbirds. So there's so many benefits of growing native plants.
Well, you've done a great job of incorporating native plants and intermingling them with some other plants around your yard, and so it'd be great to take a look at a few of those. Okay, so tell us a little bit about this bed here.
Okay, this is a native plant. It's called Liatris spicata. Some people call it gay feather or blazing star, and it blooms from the bottom up, and it's next to cardinal flowers, which are also native, and then there's some blue flag iris, another native next to that, and then right here down the road is a tomato.
Yes, I love it that you tucked that in there because it shows our yards reflect what we need and are interested in.
Absolutely, edibles should be part of the garden.
Don't have to be a purist about what exactly is there. It should suit the people and the plants should suit the place.
And we have something called prairie dock with the huge leaves and a very tall stem. And then this is Ohio goldenrod. This plant is ironweed, and it is just covered with these massive flowers for a couple of weeks this time of year. It's August right now. And the height of this plant is going to depend on the moisture level of the soil. It does prefer moist soils, but if it's a drier environment, it'll simply grow shorter. It will still bloom and be very effective. Okay, this is one of my favorite native shrubs. It's called buttonbush. In the spring, it has these glossy leaves that then form white flowers in midsummer, and even after the bloom is over, it has these interesting looking seed pods.
Terrific.
And so this bed is mainly native. These are the winterberry hollies. They form red berries. Later in the season, you do have to have both male and female plants. The females are the ones that form the red berries. Again, a variety of natives. This is blue flag iris that will bloom in June with light blue flowers. This bed is more of an upland bed. It's close to the road. It has road salt in the winter. And so I've tried to plant plants here that are more adapted to drought conditions, and one of those is a native called Ruellia. It's wild petunia, and you can see that it has these petunia-like flowers, which unfortunately open in the daytime while I'm at work. So luckily I played hooky today and we can see the blooms. They close up at night. Beyond that is a native grass called prairie dropseed, and it spreads beautifully about 3 feet diameter and eventually reaches about 3 feet height. Very attractive along walkways, again drought tolerant. So these are more drought tolerant native plants, and of course they're interspersed with other drought tolerant non-natives.
So we're at Lake Lansing Park South, and there's a beautiful bed planted right here. Tell us a bit about your goals for this one, Lori.
Okay, this is a rain garden, and the purpose of the location of this rain garden is that it's adjacent to the parking lot, and water flows through the rain garden. Pollutants are filtered out, and eventually the water goes through a drain across to Lake Lansing. So the purpose was to create a filtration system to reduce the pollution in the lake. The low-growing grass in the front is palm sedge. That's a native sedge. Beyond that is Ohio goldenrod, and then we have some swamp milkweed. The other pink spiky flower is the Liatris, and then Joe Pyeweed is the very tall pink blooming specimens. This is our Shoreline demonstration garden, and the purpose of this garden is to try to show homeowners that you can grow a buffer zone between your lawn and the lake to kind of, filter the progression of nutrients into the lake. And so we've grown a variety of low plants so it doesn't block your views, and they're all tolerant of flooding. They're native and non-native together, so it'd be the kind of mix that a homeowner might like. And there's a progression of bloom throughout the season. Right now, some of the liatris are in bloom, and we also have some of the hibiscus in bloom. This area in the park was a drain that took water from the street down to the lake, and instead of just having water go through a pipe, they dug out a swale and planted native plants here. It's now a bioswale, and the intention is that these plants will help filter pollutants before the water reaches the lake.
Lori, anything else you'd like us to know about native plants?
Just the fact that there's such a variety of native plants that regardless of your conditions in your garden, there's a native plant that would look glorious in your garden, and it's not that hard to maintain the plants once they're established, so I encourage homeowners to try some out.
It's not that hard to do.
Not that hard to do.